when it comes to resistance to change, well, let's look at something. Let's look at it. Let's look at anger. Let's look at fear, hopelessness, or depression. One of these reasons we use to drink is to block negative emotions or use any form of a substance. And when we quit, it seems as if they are spinning out of control. To get through this phase, try some of these approaches. 1, talk about your feelings. If you talk about it with a trusted friend or at a good meeting, you understand it better and feel more peaceful. And chances are someone else will say, "Me too," and add some insights that may help you even further. 2, take care of yourself. I believe Elijah Muhammad said, if a person don't teach you right, we won't treat you right. Take care of yourself. If you eat a healthy diet, get enough sleep, and get regular exercise in a way you enjoy, negative emotions will diminish and be more manageable. 3, give yourself at least one good laugh a day. Hearty laughter changes your brain chemistry the same way hard exercise or some prescription drugs do. It releases natural antidepressants and painkillers with no side effects. Think about collecting comedy videos or books and turn to them when you have a bad day. One of the movies I like is called, it's a comedy movie with my man in there. I can't even think of the name. He was funny. His name was Rubinsky. Finding Rubinsky. Man, that was a funny movie, man. It was funny. But yeah, look out for distorted thinking. Think out loud and get feedback from a friend, or listen to yourself and figure out what beliefs are behind your negative feelings. Often we are trying to live up to some ridiculous rules or expectations we haven't really thought about. Because you can't live up to nobody else's standards. When we get them into consciousness and take a close look at them, a lot of negative feelings may what? Go away. I cannot live based upon my mother, my father, my sister, whatever it is. They live the way that they live. I got to live the way that I live. I can learn and take from it, and I can add to it, or I can take that which I take from it, and that which I do not need, I just won't take it. I can't live up. We got to learn. We can't live up to nobody else's expectations in the society in which we live. It is called social comparison. You know, can't live up to nobody's expectations. Get some counseling. Number 5, see a therapist. He or she may be able to help you get past the negative feelings. We want to get past the negative feelings. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get past the negative feelings. You know, some people, man, we can say somebody could, this is the tricky part of this. Somebody can tell you something positive, but you're so used to negative that what somebody's telling you positive, you're receiving as something that is negative. That's the trickery of this stuff here, man. But if we been receiving and doing positive things, you know how it is that they say that when somebody has been living a life that is inappropriate and an unhealthy lifestyle, or done something wrong with somebody, he or she is always looking over his what? His shoulder. But now that we are on the process of change when it comes to recovery, that we don't have to worry about those things anymore. And that's why we want to be around individuals that are on the same path that you're on, and they mean you well. But don't be tricked. Once again, I keep telling you, I hope y'all, I'm not telling anyone, but you got to listen. Take heed of the warning. Because there are those who see what you have, and they will want what you have, and they will use you to get what they want from you. They are in their addictive behavior because they can't stand on their own merit, and they need you to stand on their own 2 feet. Whereas that they may be further ahead than you in their recovery, so to speak, based upon the manner in which they went through the process, but yet they may not be as further than you than what you think that they are, because their reputation precedes them. There was a story about this martial art artist, and this other guy respected the martial art artist, and they was going in combat, and the teacher, so-called teacher, said, "Man, all right, man, you got it," or something, and the other guy respected the martial art artist so much that he didn't take advantage of him, but the so-called teacher tricked him and wound up beating him up because his reputation preceded him. That's not who he is. That's not who he was. It was. Remember, I keep sharing with people that we got to be mindful that we can't put reputation over character. People are tricky, man. Humans are tricky, man. I'm telling you, man. They are in their addictive behavior, and they will not let you see that side of them, man. Because Shakespeare says all world is a stage, we're merely actors in the play. Some people just playing that role, man. They pretending to be something that they really are not. And then therefore, that stuff will influence you. Then you start to try to be something that you're really not. People say, "I'm a gangster, I'm a this, I'm a that." Man, you ain't no guy. Come on, man. Cut that out. Fantasy, man. Want to be tough. Kick you in the door. Boom, boom, boom. Knock down the door. Tough. Where you get that from? That's TV stuff, man. That ain't you. So we're dealing with negative feelings. So see a therapist. He or she may be able to help you get past the negative feelings. The negative feelings that you may have. And finally, number 6. Once again, give yourself some time. Remember that this is a normal but temporary part of recovery, and it won't last as long as it seems. Yes, there's a passage in the book says our momentary or what we're going through is temporary. And the passage, I believe in one of the passages of scripture. But yeah, momentary, it's temporary. And you have been emotionally numb. Emotionally numb. I've said that society is under social reconstruction, where our feelings are becoming desensitized, our thoughts demoralized, our attitude dehumanized, our communication devitalized, which means what we're saying to one another, we're really not paying no attention, no listening, and our behavior becomes destabilized. Remember, we have been emotionally numb. And now things are coming back to life. It's almost like a resurrection. You're coming back to life. You're coming back to yourself to live a quality life based upon the morals, the values, and principles that you probably have learned in the past from your parents or whatever it is. Your parents. And be careful, man. Always be careful when it comes to how some people were raised and to identify that. Because some people, parents, and even peers can raise their children to be fools. Man, be leery, man, of that. You identify with them because they probably happy-go-lucky. They don't want challenges in life. They run away from the challenges. They're scornful. They make mockery of any and everything. These are two ways to identify when it comes to a fool. You don't want to be a part or a parlay of foolishness and a fool of acting like a fool. You're coming back to life. A resurrection, a phoenix rising from the dust. The dust represents curiosity. When you deal with curiosity, you deal with science. You're becoming more curious again about the quality of life. To live life on life terms. Anybody happy all the time? I ain't happy all the time. Shit. Come back to life. Think about what happened when your leg goes to sleep. Huh? Think about it when your leg goes back to sleep. That's the simplest. I like that analogy. And then it comes back to what? Life. And then the circulation comes back. We talk about the process. And it feels crazy, but only for what? For a short time, don't it, man? So what I'm trying to say to you, man, that it's only for a short time. And nobody has a monopoly on time. Go through this process of what you're going through right now. And knowing that it's temporary. Think about it. Whatever the extent amount of time in which you or I and all that we were doing in the past. It took a minute, it took a second. And that second turned to a minute. That minute turned to an hour. The hour turned to a day, the week, months, and years. That something could have put us to sleep. And now we're coming back to life. We're rising above it, man, because we want to accept it. We want to live a quality life. We want to change.